Okay, so now we're doing our coins at 4 inches deep on edge. I'm going to test a few things here. Do another ground balance real quick, like ground balance. Hold that in there. See, this ground just isn't very mineralized. This actually went to 0. I'm going to cut the automatic off, manually ground balance to 0. And we're in Park 1. And our recovery speed, I do want to work with that a little bit. So we're going to go all the way to the max, just for grins here, and I'll run it down here in a second. So there's our silver dollar in Park 1 at max recovery speed. We're getting really quick little double chirps going across the coin, and we get a little bit lower tones one way across the middle of the coin. If we get out in front of it, we get them both ways out behind, but they're little tiny chirps. If we run that all the way down to 1, the coin disappears, but shows up loud and strong ahead of the coin and behind the coin, but right across the middle it disappears. So the faster recovery speed does allow the detector to see the coin in front of and behind at 4 inches, but not right over. Slower recovery speed allows you to see in front and behind, but not right over. If you change that recovery speed all the way up, you can see it. It's not super strong, but it's picking it up, and little short beeps in front of and behind. That's going with the coin, going across the coin. These little short double chirps. If we run that recovery speed back down to 1, the coin just disappears in Park 1. Can't get it really at all. Alright, so half, I'm getting it, and that is at its lowest recovery speed. Yep. That dollar's still not there, people. The half is showing the double low weird chirps and disappears going long ways with the coin. Let's run that recovery speed back up all the way, going across the coin. Nice double little chirps, and still disappears in the middle, or it disappears. It weren't disappearing before. It's there, but it's barely there. Alright, quarter, barely getting a chirp at the high recovery speed. Nice double quick chirps going across the short way of the coin. Let me run that down. Oh. That weird sounding chirp, but it's there. Going with the coin. Both ways coming off the coin on the axis, but if I get away from it, the tone raises. And then the dime, this is the slow recovery speed, disappears going with the coin on the long way. I can pick it up out in front, pick it up behind, and then if I go across the coin, double signal. Let's raise that recovery speed all the way to the top. Oh, little tiny double signal, but it's weak. That's going across, going with, disappears over the coin, disappears everywhere. So the highest recovery speed doesn't pick up a dime on its axis at 4 inches deep. Quarter on its axis going with the coin, barely getting it out in front, barely. Getting it in back, barely. Going across the coin, quick little double. Interesting. Alright, so just a real quick run through. Oh, that was Park 1. Oh, we got all these modes. Park 2. This is fast recovery speed on a dime. Picking that up nice. So we rotate around, disappears on the long ways, but we pick it up out in front barely. disappears over the dime. Pick it up barely behind. That's tough to try and find in a field. Quarter, little broken signal. A little more out in front and behind again, going with it, going across it. Nice little double. Alright, and we will run that all the way down. That's a good double signal, but weird. But and going with it. It's a weird signal, but it's repeatable. Again, slow recovery speed on a half in field 2 or part 2. Disappears right over the center. If I get behind it or in front, picking it up again. If I go across it the short ways, that double signal, and that is with the slowest recovery speed. We'll crank that all the way up to the fastest, and going across the coin short ways. Quick little chirps going with the coin. Disappears almost in the middle. Quick little high chirp in front of and behind. That's just, it's really surprising me that shallow on edge, it's doing what people are saying. Here's $1, 1 ounce of silver. This is at the fastest recovery speed. It's getting it. Not a crazy strong signal, but it's getting it. Reading low too, 21s, 18s. That's going with the coin, going across it. Then high pitch, just like we're expecting. Going with the coin across the middle. It does raise up if you get out in front or behind. So that's interesting. Let's raise that, or lower, excuse me. Recovery speed. Crazy low tones. And coming off the coin both ways, going with it. Let's see what happens if I get out in front. Coming off the coin, and then, so it's weird. If you can see that pattern, that's a coin on edge, or something on edge, and then going across the coin. That double signal. Oops, again, that's the slowest. Can't remember if we did the fastest. We're going to do it again if we did. Really quick, tight double. That's going across the short way of the coin. Lower tone coming off the coin for that big silver, but gets high and tight on the front and the back of it. Low and high. Alright, let's see. We're going to go to, get out of there. Field 1. One-way signal, but out in front and behind, we got that. And this is, let me get over to recovery speed. That's at the fastest recovery speed. And then going across the coin, short way, that double beep. Kind of getting to know that now. Let me change that back to the lowest, or excuse me, slowest recovery speed. That coming off, double beep when you're going across, coming off, and then high in front of and behind. This is the half, coming off. That's just weird. Developing a pattern though. And that double, that's at a slow recovery speed. Then at a fast recovery speed. That quick chirp, and it can disappear on that fast. That's mighty shallow to disappear, but out in front, ooh, we're not getting it out in front or behind. So be careful on them fast recovery speeds. This is a quarter. It's pretty much disappeared going with the coin. If I go across the coin, I get that double chirp, and then my dime, double chirp, and disappears at the fastest recovery speed. Slow that down to the slowest. Still disappeared, but I'm getting it in front of and behind. So it disappears across the middle, and then when I go the short way with the dime, get that double signal. So real quick, I'm going to just run through it somewhere in the middle. Let's try 4. So this is where I think most people run 4 and 5. Double signal, and that's in Park 1. Disappears, but a signal in front of and behind. Oh, got a signal there. Higher front, behind, and behind. That weird double signal going across it. Here's the half going across. Almost disappears across the middle, but out in front and behind, high tone. Almost disappears across the middle, but high out in front behind. It's just weird. Alright, last one, part 2. Coming off the coin with a average recovery speed. That double signal. Again, you get that coming off, and then a high tone in front of and behind. That's, I've been able to recover or repeat this on these big silvers. Coming off the coin, I get the signal, but out in front, high tone, and if I turn 90 degrees, that double beat. Quarter, double beep going across it. The tone's coming off of the, as I'm leaving the coin, but then high out in front, high and back, and the dime, it's all but disappeared. But I can get the high in front and behind, and a double signal. I don't know what all, I'm gonna have to re-watch all these videos and figure all this out, but at 4 inches, that's a little disturbing on edge. Now we already know that if the coins are flat, it's gonna pick them up good, but on edge, I think there's some learning to do. Looking for those double signals. And be careful about your recovery speed. And I've been running in auto ground balance, which seems to, it hasn't seemed to matter here, whether I was in auto or manual. Double signal. And then low tone in the middle with high tone out in front and behind. That seems to be the repeatable pattern for these silvers on edge. That's all I got.